On today's episode of SEO Lunch, we keep it close-knit as we look at local search engine optimization. Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of SEO Lunch. I'm your enthusiastic host Dan, and SEO Lunch is your weekly look at inbound marketing tips, search engine optimization tricks, things of that nature. Though you know what, SEO Lunch is the title, but we've been doing a lot of inbound marketing lately, so maybe I should think about changing the title here of the show. But that's for another day. Today's episode actually does center around search engine optimization, specifically of the local kind. This is actually more of a sort of a response to last week's episode where we talked about long tail keywords and why they're going to become more important going into 2014 than like a head term or a short term keyword. Kind of keeping in that with that sort of vibe, we're going to look at specifically local SEO. We are a small business ourselves. We do a lot of custom work with local businesses. And of course, we also branch out and do things internationally, nationally with our themes and whatnot. But we still do some small business, some local business, I should say. So this is a really important thing if you're watching this and you do have a small business. Sort of some tips you can use to kind of optimize your website so people are going to see it on Google when they're looking within your town. So again, in the last episode, we practiced long tail SEO, and we always use the pizza sauce example. So of course, I'm going to go there again. But when you're looking at something like pizza sauce, we see so many clients here, and I talk to so many people where their websites basically say, this is the website for pizza sauce, pizzasauce.com or whatever, world's best pizza sauce, whatever it might be, which is great because if somebody searches for pizza sauce, that's a good domain to have. And then you go on their website, it's locally grown tomatoes or whatever it is. It's a local business. They're mostly selling to people in their area. But there's really nothing on their website to suggest that they're from anywhere around where they say they are. So we're going to look at a couple things you can do. First and foremost, you can just put in your text, especially with WordPress, because with WordPress, there's automatic indexing of your content, which is good for search engine optimization. You can basically say things like, in our case, we're from Dartmouth, Mass. So we'd say, Dartmouth, Mass pizza sauce. And we'd put that close. We'd put Dartmouth and Massachusetts close to pizza sauce wherever we could in blog posts, in the headers of some of our pages, maybe in the about page, Slocum Studio pizza sauce is proudly grown from local farms in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Just getting those keywords close together so that when somebody goes online and searches for pizza sauce in Dartmouth, pizza sauce in Massachusetts, it's actually going to be better for your business and it's going to be easier for Google to find you when it crawls through all the different websites out there, because there are millions of them out there, let's face it. Another tip you can utilize, which I've seen, is just actually doing in the domain, having something like that. One of our clients actually his domain is Brockton Bankruptcy Law, right there, which means if I'm around the Brockton area, Brockton, Mass, and I say Brockton Bankruptcy Law, it's going to be easy to find him. It's going to crawl real easily. So that's another option you have. In his case, he's a personal brand, so it's a little bit different. It's a little bit easier to do that. If you're something like, for example, like McDonald's or something, you're not going to want to write, whatever, Dartmouth, or you're going to want to write McDonald's for your domain. But in this case, it works out really well. So kind of play around with some ideas, purchase some domains, kind of go through your website again and just look at that content. Again, if it's on WordPress, you can just edit it yourself. You don't need to get to your webmaster. That's why we use it. That's why we create websites with that tool as well. The other thing I want to talk about is a really great plugin. Now, this is a paid plugin, so I'm going to preface it there. It's by Yoast. He does a couple other really great plugins that are free. The Google Analytics plugin we've talked about in shows past, as well as just the SEO plugin. Well, this is along the same lines. This one is paid. I think it's about $60, $70 or so for one website, and it's called Local SEO by Yoast. And what it basically does is it goes into your website and you fill in these pieces of information and basically say, this is my address, so it'll put it in Google Maps for you. Here are my store hours, the store locator, things of that nature. Anything that can sort of analyze what kind of business you have and where you are, so that when you're on Google, it also helps there too. And what this plugin does is it takes all that information you feed it, which is all very organic. So I'm going to say, I'm open from 8 to 5. And then what Google's going to do, or what the plugin's going to do, I should say, is it's going to take that information and actually feed it into your website. So that's easier for Google to find it, crawl it, and index it that way. So really great tool to use there. So again, whether it's organically going in through posting in other companies, other local companies' blogs, or getting active that way online is also another great thing you can do too to get people to be clicking on your website. That's a little bit more organic going into 2014 as well. If you guys have any other questions about what we talked about today, or any comments about it, you think I said something wrong, or if something you'd like to add, please comment below either in the article or in the YouTube video. We always welcome comments. It helps us out quite a bit in refining our process. This episode of SEO Lunch is brought to you by Slocum Themes, our theme website, where we have our great responsive and clean WordPress themes that we've designed for you. As always, folks, subscribe, hit the big old red subscribe button, or subscribe at slocumstudio.com/subscribe. Take it easy, folks.